Decisive killing+invincible flow+senior sister+passionate blood. 5 years ago, his parents were burned to death by a large fire, and he was taken up the mountain by his master like a dead dog. 5 years later, Xiao Han obtained the true lineage of 7 masters, rose to fame, avenged his marriage, and sought his senior sister. Right. Second Master Dragon Seal Weapon Token, adjust 1 million troops Dr. Master San received 8 injections against the heavens. 1 injection gave birth, 2 injections died, and 3 injections resulted in flesh and white bones sure. The heavenly divine order of the 4 masters, which intimidates the outside world wealth. The 5 masters of wealth have a divine connection, and 1 black card is equivalent to a country's wealth woo. The 5 elements thunder order of Master 7 can mobilize people from the 5 profound schools of mountain, medicine, Xiang, Ming, and Bu. Chapter 0001. If I bloom together with peach blossoms for the Qing Emperor newspaper in another year. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the northern region, at the foot of Kunlun Mountains. Here, a dragon prison covering an area of 100,000 square meters is built with refined iron, white stone, and specially made aluminum alloy. Imprisoned, isn't it? A multinational financial giant worth trillions of dollars. The king of mercenaries who fought on the battlefields of Africa and Northern Europe. The military leader who resells weapons, sells nuclear bomb materials, and is listed as the most wanted criminal by hundreds of countries. Waiting for a group of outstanding and unparalleled heroes in the world. These people, when placed outside, are all rebellious and unruly, towering figures of heaven, earth, second, and third. But in this prison, they are honest and straightforward. It's not because there are 100,000 guards in the prison, but because of the elderly and young people on the Kunlun Mountains. However, at this moment, the king of mercenaries, the king of terror, the financial tycoon, and other figures in the prison. They have prepared a large number of fireworks and are ready to celebrate. Because they received news that the bastard named Xiao Han was finally going down the mountain. At the top of Kunlun Mountain, there is a lake like a fairy pond on the edge. An old man wearing hemp clothes and a straw hat, holding a dry tobacco rod in his left hand and a fishing rod in his right hand. While smoking dry smoke, I stared at the fish in the water. There are various colored fish in the pool, and even a few golden scale fish with dragon whiskers. And the young man beside him was already grilling a blue-eyed black-scaled fish. That's the treasure he drugged. Being roasted like this is a waste. Stinky kid, today is your time to go down the mountain. Finally, the old man took a puff of dry smoke and bit his back teeth to open his mouth. Going down the mountain, we can go down now. The young man threw away the half-eaten blue-eyed black-scaled fish in his hand. On this day, he waited too long. There are too many things waiting for him to handle in Zhenqingjiang city. Although your 6 masters have been wandering around, they probably counted up to today when you went down the mountain and left you a gift. As the old man's voice fell, the 6 boxes next to him were all opened at this moment. Your second master's Dragon Seal Weapon Talisman can mobilize a 1,000,000-strong army in the northern region and command all members of the Heavenly Punishment Hall. Your 3 masters' Rebellious 8 needles, 1 needle gives birth, 2 needles die, and 3 needles make flesh and bones white. Your 4 masters' Divine Orders can mobilize the top mercenary and assassin organizations outside the domain. Your 5 masters' dozen or so black cards can each be worth the wealth of a small country. Your 6 masters' lucky jade pendant can protect your life in critical moments. Your 7 masters' 5 elements thunder order can mobilize people from the 5 profound schools of mountain, medicine, Xiang, Ming, and divination to seek refuge from all evil things. Take these, hurry down the mountain. The old man took a puff of dry smoke and waved his hand. Master, I really can't bear to part with you. Xiao Han stretched his tone. You scoundrel, get out of here. Hurry up and get out of here. Are you reluctant to let go of me? Are you reluctant to let go of me? this mountain full of birds and beasts. The old man in linen couldn't help but shout at Xiao Han. He raises rare herbs and rare spiritual beasts. It's almost eaten up by Xiao Han. If this kid doesn't come down the mountain again, this old man will be ruined. Upon hearing this, Xiao Han let out a dry cough with some embarrassment and said, "Ahem. Master, the other masters have all given me things. Don't you have anything to express? Get out." The old man kicked Xiao Han down the mountain and said, "Evil disciple, the gift I gave you is your 7 stunning senior sisters. If you have the ability, marry them all." Stinky old man, am I the kind of person who is inferior to beasts? Xiao Han touched his buttocks and murmured. Bang bang bang. At this very moment, a series of dazzling fireworks were blooming in the sky above the dragon prison. Xiao Han, that bastard, finally left. This demon, I hope he won't come back in this lifetime, woo-woo. My nose hair finally has hope to grow. The extremely vicious criminals in the prison are all celebrating the Chinese New Year like a festive occasion. At this moment, a passenger plane from the capital of Daxia, Shangjing City, to Qingjiang City landed smoothly. Xiao Han, dressed in casual clothes, had a delicate appearance and a plain temperament. At first glance, he looked like a green duckweed in the floating world, not outstanding. But those eyes, like stars, with distinct black and white, exuded extraordinary qualities. Xiao Han was accompanied by another person. It is the Jade Jiaolong, one of the 5 dragons of the Northern Heavenly Punishment Hall. As the name suggests, the person has a jade face and peach blossoms, exuding a charming aura. Master, the accommodation has been arranged. Would you like to go rest first? Coming out of the airport, Yu Jiaolong spoke up. Urgent matters require power, so go to the Li family first to get married. Xiao Han's eyes gleamed slightly. Yu Jiaolong nodded respectfully. Qingjiang City, long time no see. On a grand camouflage jeep, Xiao Han looked out the window and sighed. Back then, when their Xiao family was in glory. I have arranged 7 marriages for him. But soon, after the decline of the Xiao family, these 7 families not only failed to fulfill their engagement, but also did not refund their dowry. Even back in the day, the big fire that left his parents and sister uncertain. All of them may be related to these 7 companies. After his parents went missing, he and his sister were adopted by his father's sworn brother Zhou Changqing. On the day when his parents placed the head 7 in the attire tomb, he was lonely and desperate, fainting in the rain due to low blood sugar. It was the girl named Zhao Qingke who held up an umbrella for someone like him who looked like a stray dog on a rainy day. He also peeled off a piece of sugar and fed it into his mouth with his delicate jade finger. Hello, my name is Zhao Qingke and I like peach blossoms. The girl's smile is like a flower. So, he must first go to the Li family to withdraw his marriage, obtain the marriage certificate, and burn it in front of his parents' graves to pay homage to them. Then go search for the missing sister. Go see Zhao Qingke again. Finally, go find his 7 senior sisters. Over the years, he obtained the true teachings of 7 masters and even adopted the pseudonym Xiao Qingdi. He took over the northern realm on behalf of his second master Mang Tianqi, formed the Heavenly Punishment Hall, and fought outside the territory. Sweep the fierce enemy on the grassland. Not only did it repel millions of barbarians on the border, but it also brought them to the holy land of the barbarian enemy, where they worshipped the gods and hung the flag of the great Xia kingdom. He has achieved the feat of enfeoffment to the wolf dwelling in Su. If rewards are given based on merit, he should shoulder the 5 stars and be granted the position of Grand General, leading the Northern Territory and being granted the title of Prince. However, he did all this not for any glory, but for revenge and to meet Zhao Qingke and the 7 senior sisters. If I were the Qing Emperor in that year, I would bloom with the peach blossoms. Chapter 0002. Hello, my name is Xiao Han and I like the girl who likes peach blossoms. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The most expensive residential area in Xinjiang City. Number 11 Yuan. Rockeries, flowing water, and green plants provide shade. At the entrance of the small courtyard, there is an expensive rosewood carved plaque hanging. Engraved with the two characters Li Fu. A surge of luxury fills the face. Li Muwan, one of the top 10 beautiful women in Xinjiang City, is known as the youngest female entrepreneur. Was revered as a goddess by countless talented young people in Xinjiang. This is the person he, Xiao Han, is going to divorce today. Master Jing, the Li family is quite lively today. Yijialong looked at the luxury cars parked in front of Li's house and muttered to himself. Obviously, the guests from the Li family today are all influential in Xinjiang City. However, it has not yet entered the Li family yard. I heard a burst of laughter. Haha. Welcome to my daughter's engagement banquet. Li is here to thank you all for your recognition. Looking up, the head of the Li family in the inner courtyard hall was flushed and extremely excited. Toast to everyone, congratulations. A group of guests dressed in luxurious attire and with extraordinary temperament also raised their glasses to congratulate. On the lawn of the outer courtyard, it was a gathering of young people. Even more peculiar is that there is a 2-meter-high iron cage on the lawn. There is a woman in the cage with torn clothes, messy hair, and dirty clothes. However, even so, it cannot conceal her transcendent temperament, stunning appearance, and perfect figure with 9 heads. Zhao Qing, if you eat this dog food, I will give you the marriage letter, contract, and dowry that the Xiao family gave to our Li family. You've been thinking about these things for a long time, haven't you? Li Muwan, wearing a super short skirt and high heels, was praised by the stars. Pointing to the dog food inside the cage, he said. Muwan, you've done a great job. A lowly woman abandoned by her family, a useless person who used to be like a dead dog, they are a perfect match. A man named Hanifeng wearing a hollow suit and a Jiang Shidandan wristwatch. He smiled and said. Zhao Qingke was a goddess who was even more dazzling than Li Muwan back then. But it was just for the sake of that useless member of the Xiao family that he has fallen into the current state of being inferior to a beggar. Zhao Qingke, if you agree to Su Xiao's request to be his girlfriend, you will still be that lofty goddess. Moreover, it can also save the sister surnamed Xiao, why not do it? Ding Peng, a young master dressed in punk, knocked on the iron cage. Zhao Qingke was frightened and her whole body shrank. Hurry up, this dog food, you don't want to eat it, and they're waiting to eat it. When the time comes, let them out, we can't guarantee your innocence anymore. Hanifeng pointed to the several beggars tied by dog chains in the corner of the courtyard. These beggars either have bald heads and yellow teeth, thick sores all over their bodies, or hunchbacked and elderly. Each one is extremely ugly and disgusting. Woo! Those beggars have been starving for a long time, and have never touched a woman. Looking at Zhao Qingke now, he surprisingly let out a low growl like a big dog. No. Zhao Qingke was really scared. 2 lines of clear tears slid down my cheeks. The grievances of many years have completely erupted at this moment. She waited for Xiao Han for 5 years, but what she got was this ending. Then hurry up and eat this dog food. Ding Peng opened the door of the iron cage. Pull Zhao Qingke out. The young masters and ladies present couldn't help but laugh. Waiting to see a good play. Look, Zhao Qingke, who was once stunning and had a prominent family background, was the dream lover of many young talents. How to eat dog food. Zhao Qingke, this is your retribution. Li Muwan raised her willow eyebrows, a sense of great revenge. Back then, she was suffocated by Zhao Qingke and looked pale in front of her. Even more infuriating is that after the decline of the Xiao family, Zhao Qingke has been maintaining the Xiao family. Helping that useless Xiao Han. Isn't this making their Li family very unfriendly? Zhao Qingke, quickly kneel down and eat dog food. You don't have much time left, that useless sister of the Xiao family has been captured by the Black Tiger gang. If you want to save her, hurry up and we'll pay you a ransom. Han Yifeng knocked on the table and impatiently urged. They are all top young masters of Zhenqingjiang city. Not only for Su Xiao to breathe a sigh of relief. I really want to see Zhao Qingke, who was considered the most beautiful woman in the entire southern Xinjiang back then. How to beg for mercy in front of them like a mother dog. You. Zhao Qingke looked at the crowd in front of her and felt extremely humiliated. But she promised that person to take good care of his sister. Moreover, Zhao Qingke did not want to see his engagement being treated as a joke and kept in the hands of the Li family. In the lobby of the Li family's inner courtyard, those elders didn't pay much attention to this farce. I think it's just a fight between younger generations. Xiao Han, I hate you. Zhao Qingque's stunning cheeks shed 2 lines of clear tears. Bending both knees means kneeling on the ground. At this moment, Zhao Qingke felt a big hand supporting her. Hello, my name is Xiao Han and I like the girl who likes peach blossoms. A piece of old candy paper wrapped in a peach blossom candy was handed to Zhao Qingke. Xiao Han. Zhao Qingke looked up at the young man with sharp edges in front of him. Removing the childishness of the past and adding a touch of composure. However, there was still a look of the past between the eyebrows and eyes. However, Zhao Qingke felt a myriad of grievances in her heart. Why are you still coming back? There has been no news for so many years, no news at all. The surprise in Zhao Qingque's eyes turned into a sense of melancholy. Back then, she went through countless hardships to obtain Xiao Han's phone number and connected it. I didn't even have time to say a word before hanging up. Afterwards, it was not passed again. Xiao Han. It was the parents who were burned to death, the younger sister became a little beggar, and she became a stray dog. She even wanted to marry Muwan's funeral star. Han Yifeng couldn't help but sneer. Everyone was somewhat surprised. Back then, it was like a stray dog. Has the waste left Xinjiang city and returned now? Xiao Han. Li Muwan looked disgusted at Xiao Han, who was dressed in plain clothes next to Zhao Qingke. Still so ordinary and ordinary. Kneel down and apologize. Xiao Han handed the peach blossom candy wrapped in old sugar paper to Zhao Qingke. Then, his eyes lifted slightly and he looked at Ding Peng, Han Yifeng, Li Muwan, and others who had just bullied Zhao Qingke. Wow! The young masters and young ladies were in an uproar, thinking they had heard the wrong thing. When did Xiao family waste become so stubborn? Looking at Xiao Han in front of him, Zhao Qingque's tearful eyes flashed with a hint of confusion. Back then, Xiao Han stood in front of her like this. That emaciated body, even if knocked down to the ground. We also need to protect him. What are you saying, trash? Say it again. Ding Peng picked up a baseball bat next to his hand and hid it behind him. With one hand attached to his ear, he slowly walked towards Xiao Han. Han Yifeng and others are all prepared to wait and see a joke. Bang! Okay, next second. Yu Jiaolong's palm, like lightning, covered Ding Peng's head. Chapter 0003. Divorce and Retirement of Li Muwan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With a bang. Ding Peng's head had an intimate contact with the lawn. If it were a bluestone ground, Ding Peng's head would shatter. However, even so, Ding Peng, whose head was smashed on the lawn, also spat out blood from his mouth. My body twitched a few times. You're so desperate, I'm going to peel your skin. Ding Peng pointed his finger at Yu Jiaolong, his eyes resentful. Bang! Yu Jiaolong kicked Ding Peng in the stomach again. Boom! Ding Peng smashed directly onto the wall of the courtyard. The sound of bone fracture echoed simultaneously. Ah! At the scene, only Ding Peng was left holding his stomach and vomiting blood, while screaming in agony. The whole Li family's courtyard was stunned. No one could have imagined that the woman in camouflage next to Xiao Han was so violent. Miso. Han Yifeng directly pulled out a sharp mountain knife and pointed it at Xiao Han and Yu Jialong, saying, "Dog thing, you think finding a martial arts helper can make a scene in Qingjiang city? I will let you be carried out of Qingjiang city like a dead dog, just like before." Xiao Han raised his eyes slightly and curved the corner of his mouth slightly, saying, "It's been a long time, no one dares to point a knife at me like this. Lousy." Han Yifeng still wants to say a harsh word. Shua. Yu Jialong is as close as lightning. Kaka. A bone fracture sounded. The next second, Han Yifeng's hand holding a mountain knife. It is directly twisted into fried dough twists, and the bone stubble is exposed. Ah. I am the Han family. If I offend our Han family in Qingjiang city, your whole family will die a tragic death. Han Yifeng reported his family and threatened. Feed him dog food. Xiao Han said lightly. Bang. Yu Jialong kicked out and hit Han Yifeng's calf bone. Crack, legs and feet broken. With a thud, Han Yifeng's cheek fell into the dog bowl and, unsurprisingly, took a bite of dog food. Poo. You trash, if you dare to humiliate us like this, you will die hard. Han Yifeng spat out dog food repeatedly, roaring, with a face full of resentment. When did he suffer such humiliation? However, this bloody scene directly suppressed everyone in the outer courtyard. Xiao Han, what exactly do you want to do? I hope you don't have any illusions, our engagement is impossible. I want to marry the inheritor of the He family, who can be considered a top family in the entire southern region. Li Muwan trembled and said. But how did she know that Xiao Han had come to divorce? Engagement. Just rely on your tactics against Qing just now. Believe it or not, I'll have this group of beggars perform live with you. Xiao Han grabbed Li Muwan's collar and looked at the group of beggars who looked like hungry dogs. Ah. Xiao Han, you. Don't mess around. Li Muwan's face immediately turned pale with fear. However, at this moment, a furious rebuke sounded. Which bastard dares to cause trouble on my daughter's engagement day and doesn't want to live? The speaker was the angry Li Yuan, the head of the Li family. The noise of fighting in the outer courtyard. It also attracted a group of elders from the inner courtyard hall. After seeing such a bloody scene in the outer courtyard, Li Yuan was instantly enraged. Master of the Li family, it's true that many noble people forget things. Back then, I took your daughter with me. On a rainy day, I rushed to my Xiao family in order to get an engagement from them. Despite standing in the rain for 3 hours. So fast, forget me. The gentle breeze brushed against Xiao Han's clothes. Everyone felt that the once ordinary young man had an ordinary temperament. At this moment, like an unsheathed sword, it began to show its sharpness. Are you? Li Yuan's eyes widened instantly. Dad. He's from the Xiao family. Xiao Han. Li Muwan revealed Xiao Han's identity. Suddenly, the upper-class figures of Qingjiang city around Li Yuan all had solemn expressions. Back then, the affairs of the Xiao family were full of wind and rain in Qingjiang city. Li Yuan narrowed his eyes and muttered silently, Xiao Han. Xiao Han, why are you so persistent? It's simply impossible for both of us. There is no such thing as parents' orders or matchmaking nowadays. Your actions will only make the already weak relationship between our two families disappear in an instant. I made the decision to regret my marriage, in fact, it was for your own good. Li Muwan, who was pinched by Xiao Han by the collar, tried to persuade her, as if all her words were thinking for Xiao Han. That is to say, the He family, who is engaged to the Li family, is such a colossal entity that cannot be compared to your destitute Xiao family. Muwan's fiancé A.E. is a person who can be called a heavenly pride in the entire southern region. He is like a star, and you, Xiao Han, are just an ant. How do you compare him? Muwan is actually doing this to protect you. Don't be so shameless as to make others fulfill their previous engagement. Do you deserve it? Li Muwan's words. It also made a group of young gentlemen and young ladies join in. At that moment, Xiao Han was like a toad, determined to eat the swan meat of Li Muwan. Xiao Han. The past is like smoke, let bygones be bygones. If you are returning to Xinjiang city this time to start a business, as an uncle, I will provide you with a start-up capital of 300,000 yuan. It can be considered as the end of benevolence and righteousness. Li Yuan also looked like a kind-hearted person and clapped his hands. Suddenly, a black-clad bodyguard was carrying a genuine leather box, holding it in his hand and placing it in front of Xiao Han. With a loud bang, the suitcase opened. 30 neatly stacked red tickets were displayed in front of Xiao Han. 300000. Xiao Han's mouth curved slightly. Extend your palm towards the leather box. This scene made many people show such smiles as expected. The waste of that year did not change at all. Only 300,000 yuan. Just make him lower his head. Li Muwan looked at Xiao Han and suddenly felt that her decision was incredibly correct. Zhao Qingke looked at Xiao Han's back, but there was even greater disappointment in his eyes. I, Xiao Han, came to your Li family this time not to make your Li family fulfill any bullshit engagement. Back then, your Li family, like a dog, begged my tender mother for a marriage engagement. Do you Li family have any bullshit qualifications to break the contract? Lousy, I'm here to get married. Xiao Han threw 300,000 into the air. With a loud bang. 300,000 yuan spontaneously ignited without wind, turning into a sky full of sparks. And Xiao Han's words also fell clearly in the ears of everyone. Divorce. He came to withdraw from the marriage. Isn't this equivalent to taking a break from Li Muwan? Bastard, give face but don't take face. Someone, give me a fight. Li Yuan's originally warm and smiling face instantly darkened. Under a loud roar. Dozens of bodyguards from the Li family also gathered here. Holding a baseball bat, electric baton, and even a few machetes. He charged toward Xiao Han with full momentum. The speed of the jade jiaolong is like the wind, wherever it passes. I only heard the sound of bones rubbing and screams. Over 10 seconds. The bodyguards of the Li family either cover their hands, feet, or heads. Lying next to jade jiaolong one by one. The gentle breeze brushed the green threads of the jade delicate dragon, and the evil energy filled the air. Hiss. Everyone present took a deep breath. This young woman has such terrifying skills. The bodyguard of the Li family can easily bring down 3 or 5 big men. You. Li Yuan's face was startled, and his steps unconsciously took a step back. Back then, my Xiao family got engaged and gave me 3 things. A marriage certificate, a marriage contract, and a dowry. Today, your Li family must give me the same and many. Xiao Han spoke slowly. And Yu Jiaolong also walked step by step towards Li Yuan. A cold chill suddenly hit my face. The 0004th Octopus and Shrimp Pond, Dragon Flying 9 Heavens. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Wow. However, at this moment, Li Yuan was by his side. A man wearing a jacket suddenly pulled out a black pistol from his waist. The black muzzle aimed at Yu Jiaolong. At the same time, outside the Li family door, a team of law enforcement officers dressed in police uniforms flooded in. Captain Yuan, you really reigned in time. Li Yuan's eyes were filled with gratitude, and his waist straightened up. The person in front of me is Yuan Song, the captain of the Xinjiang Law Enforcement Bureau. Master Li, rest assured that these two criminals dare to commit crimes and harm others in broad daylight. I will definitely punish them severely. Yuan Song said solemnly. After learning about the disturbance in the outer courtyard, he called in a team of law enforcement officers. Step by step. Can face the dark muzzle of the gun. Yu Jiaolong seemed to have no fear at all and continued to move forward. Stop, take one more step forward, and I'll shoot. Yuan Song warned. However, Yu Jiaolong did not stop. Bang! A clear gunshot rang out. Many people were startled. However, Yu Jiaolong just dodged the bullet with a flash. Arrived in front of Yuan Song in an instant. It was foolish to show Yuan Song this scene. He was able to dodge bullets at such close range. What monster! Wow! Yu Jiaolong snatched the pistol and said, the Type 92 pistol has a fast firing rate, low power, and is suitable for short-range shooting. Can't use it. Yu Jiaolong looked up at Yuan Song with a mocking expression. What are you doing? I'll tell you, the crime of assaulting a police officer is quite serious. Yuan Song's voice was trembling at the moment. Put down the gun. A group of law enforcement officers also pointed their pistols at Yu Jiaolong. Click 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 click. Who knows, with just a few strokes, Yu Jiaolong would take the Type 92 pistol in her hand. Disassembled into parts. Then hold it with both hands. Pop 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 pop. The parts were like broken pieces of iron, falling to the ground. This move directly shook many people. Who the hell are you? Yuan Song couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Even fools know that Yu Jiaolong is by no means an ordinary person. Yu Jiaolong also pulled out a small green notebook from his waist. Throw it onto Yuan Song. Yuan Song quickly caught it involuntarily. Although it may be a bit humiliating. However, Yuan Song still subconsciously slowly opened the little green book. Name. Yang Yujiao. Code name. Yu Jiaolong, D Subordinate Unit. Northern Frontier General Theater Command. Position. 2nd Star Major General. Just a few lines of text. But Yuan Songru was struck by lightning. Northern Theater Command, 2nd Star Major General. This horse rider has caused a huge mess. This one is not just as simple as a typical 2-star general. But rather, it's a special department of the Great Xia Kingdom, the head of the Heavenly Punishment Hall, and one of the 5 Dragon Masters sitting below. Millions of soldiers in the northern region are fighting against the outside, and 500,000 days of punishment will be imposed on the inside of Weian. The Northern Realm Lord Shaoqingdi, with 1 million Northern Realm warriors on his left hand and the Heavenly Punishment Hall on his right hand. Sitting in the north, Enfeft as the king, guarding against enemies from outside, and overlooking the world. In recent years, almost all of them have been his legendary deeds. The person in front of me is actually the Jade Jiaolong, one of the 5 Dragon Masters under the main seat of the Heavenly Punishment Hall. How can Yuan Song not be afraid? Have you finished reading it? Jade Jiaolong reminds me. Look. Finished reading. Yuan Song trembled all over and his face turned pale. This look of seeing a ghost. It made everyone extremely curious. What exactly did Yuan Song see? Li Yuan stretched his head out to take a look. Yu Jiaolong casually withdrew and said, I've finished reading it. Those who haven't brought you yet, get out. With a single sound, it fell. Yuan Song seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. There is a feeling of surviving a disaster. I'll get out of here right away. Yuan Song wished he had one more leg and said, let's go, hurry up and let's go. Yuan Song shouted at the law enforcement officers. When I hurriedly left the Li family, I almost fell. This fleeting change has made the guests of the Li family, the big shots of Xinjiang city. They all became anxious and uneasy in their hearts. What exactly did Yuan Song see? A captain of the Xinjiang City Law Enforcement Bureau was so frightened that he lost 6 souls. Master Li, I don't have much patience anymore. Do you still? Or don't you return the marriage certificate, engagement letter, and dowry? Xiao Han raised his eyes slightly and spoke in an indifferent tone. At this moment, Li Yuan unexpectedly felt a tremendous pressure rushing towards him. Is this still the same trash from back then? Zhao's nephew, it has been so many years since then, and things like marriage letters, contracts, and dowries are no longer there. Li Yuan had a smile on his face. But he hasn't finished speaking yet. With a loud bang, Yu Jiaolong slapped him in the face and said, "If you don't need a knife, can you pry open your hard mouth?" At the same time, he drew out a dagger with one hand, sharp and cold, flashing a cold light, and pinched Li Yuan's chin with the other hand. "I'll go get it, I'll go get it." Li Yuan started barking like a slaughtered pig. He has witnessed the cruelty of Yu Jiaolong. After letting go, Li Yuan quickly entered the room and took out a somewhat quaint wedding letter. At the same time, he handed the marriage certificate to Xiao Han. What about the marriage contract and dowry? Xiao Han took the wedding letter, and on the red cover, there were 2 gilded characters, Xiao and Li, in seal script. However, at this moment, Xiao Han frowned. The marriage contract and dowry are not here. Li Yuan explained. Xiao Han's eyes turned cold. In my hometown, give me 10 days and I will definitely bring it over. Feeling the killing intent on Xiao Han's body, Li Yuan hurriedly said. 3 days, you only have 3 days. Xiao Han looked at Li Yuan. 3 days later is the anniversary of his parents' death, and he will retrieve what he has lost on that day. The Li family wants to take possession of his Xiao family's marriage contract and dowry. It's simply fantastic. Okay, 3 days is 3 days. Li Yuan nodded. Remember, it was my Xiao Han who refused to marry Li Muwan, and it was my Xiao family who withdrew your Li family's engagement. It's not your turn, Li family, to ruin my Xiao family's engagement. Hiss. Xiao Han tore the wedding letter to pieces. At the same time, he threw Li Muwan directly at the group of beggars. He. The group of beggars looked at Li Muwan who had fallen in front of them. One by one, they rushed towards Li Muwan like evil wolves. Kissing and biting, with yellowed teeth and pitch-black hands and feet, left marks on Li Muwan's body. Hurry up, drive these damn beggars away. Li Yuan commanded the bodyguard to shout loudly. However, even so, Li Muwan's clothes were torn to pieces. Revealing a vast expanse of fair skin, the milky skin was covered in patches of blue and purple, as well as many black lip and finger marks. Ah! Xiao Han, if you dare to treat me like this, you will regret it. For Li Muwan, the recent experience was extremely humiliating. Moreover, she believed that her identity was much more prestigious than Xiao Han's. Why do you treat her like this? Fish and shrimp in a pond, dragons soaring in the 9 heavens, even the heavenly King Laozi has arrived. I have also cancelled your engagement with the Li family. Amidst the flying debris in the sky, Xiao Han pulled Zhao Qingke and left the Li family. Chapter 0005. Anger soars the sky, sealing the city. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bastard. Bastard thing, the waste of the Xiao family, dare to make such a big fuss about my Li family. I, Li Yuan, will surely defeat you and turn you to ashes. Wait until Xiao Han's back disappears from everyone's eyes. Li Yuan roared and roared angrily. Woo. Dad, I'm so naive. I think I should talk to him harmoniously. To uphold his dignity, advise him to give up his engagement. Unexpectedly, what he got in exchange was his revenge. I must make him pay the price. Li Muwan felt very aggrieved and humiliated. Clearly, she withdrew from marriage for the sake of Xiao Han's kindness. Otherwise, let the He family know of his existence. Xiao Han will die very miserably. However, Li Muwan did not expect to receive Xiao Han's humiliation in exchange. Wanner, the wedding is ahead of schedule, and 3 days later it will be your wedding day with Yun Xiao. Before that, I will definitely make him feel worse than dead. Let him witness your wedding like a dead dog, and also make his parents feel uneasy after their death. Li Yuan's eyes became cold and gloomy. Today, his daughter has suffered such a great humiliation that she must break down Xiao Han, a useless person, in order to calm her hatred. Butler, mobilize all the connections of my Li family and investigate Xiao Han's actions over the years. At the same time, prepare a letter to bring Tiger back from the Middle East. Furthermore, notify the He family to hold the wedding in advance, and Wanner will fully cooperate with her husband's family, so that the wedding in 3 days' time will be perfectly and grandly presented in the eyes of the people of Qingjiang city. Li Yuan issued instructions in an orderly manner. Not to mention the He family supporting them. Even with the network accumulated by their Li family over the years. In Li Yuan's view, he could also crush Xiao Han fiercely. Xiao Han, do you still want a marriage contract and dowry? These will be given as gifts to the He family. I want to make your Xiao family lose face, and it will be on the day of your parents' death. Li Yuan let out a low growl with a gloomy expression on his face. Like a wild beast about to go crazy. Let go of me. Zhao Qingke pulled out by Xiao Han. Shaking away Xiao Han's hand, her pretty face showed disappointment and said, Xiao Han, didn't you ignore my sister and stop answering my phone? Why are you back now? Do you know how I spent these 5 years? Zhao Qingke had a clear tear slipping from the corner of her eye and asked in question. Qingke, for the past 5 years, I have been carrying out secret missions and cannot communicate with the outside world. Anyway, I owe you these 5 years. I will definitely make up for it. A soft expression appeared on Xiao Han's cold face. 5 years secret mission, Xiao Han, you really disappoint me. Zhao Qingke shook her head and a hint of mockery appeared on her face. That was mocking my original vision. Even now, Xiao Han is still lying to her. What big shot, it takes 5 years to carry out a secret mission. Qingke. Xiao Han would like to explain again. But it was interrupted by Zhao Qingke, forget it, Xiao Han, you offended the Li family. It's better to leave Qingjiang city as soon as possible. I will go and save Cece. There's really no other way, I'll go beg the Zhao family for the last time. Although Zhao Qingke was extremely disappointed with Xiao Han. But I still can't bear any accidents happening to him. At this moment, she made up her mind. Originally, she wanted to go to the Li family to seek the dowry that Xiao Han had given to the Li family. Then I pawned it and went to save Cece. But now the plan is disrupted. She can only beg the Zhao family, although it will come at a great cost. But she really has no other choice. After speaking, Zhao Qingke turned around and left. Qingke, I have never taken the Li family seriously. Also, what's wrong with Cece? I can go and save her. You don't have to beg the Zhao family either. Xiao Han went to pull Zhao Qingque's hand. Zhao Qingke quickly avoided it and said, Xiao Han, could you be more sober and not waste any more time? You go. Zhao Qingque's beautiful eyes showed reluctance, but she ran away with tears in her eyes. She did this because her hatred towards Xiao Han was not strong enough. Moreover, I want Xiao Han to completely forget her. This time, she went to ask the Zhao family for help, and in the future, the two of them may not have any intersection. How about I stop her? Explain it clearly to her. Yu Jiaolong knew how important Zhao Qingke was in the mind of the realm master. Over the past 5 years, if it weren't for the support of Zhao Qingque's belief. My own master cannot walk through so many mountains of corpses and blood. No need, only by resolving the matter can she believe it. Xiao Han shook his head. Immediately investigate why my family's company was burned down in a big fire 5 years ago. Who caught Cece again? After speaking, Xiao Han took a camouflage jeep. I rushed to the place where my parents were buried. Buried in Longshan. As the name suggests, buried in Longshan is a cemetery, and what is buried in the cemetery are all figures with heads and faces during their lifetime. Back then, an unnamed fire not only burned down Xiao Han's parents' company, but also caused their parents to disappear, leaving their lives unknown. Mom and Dad, don't worry, the people who harmed our family back then, even if they were from heaven to earth, I would pull them out and repay them with blood. Arriving at the burial Dragon Mountain, Xiao Han followed the blue stone steps. Walk step by step towards the mountain. What comes to mind are all the warm scenes of their family back then. And through the powerful intelligence capabilities of the Heavenly Punishment Palace. Yujialong also quickly investigated some events in Zhenqingjiang city back then. Master Jing, your sister Cixi was captured by the Black Tiger Gang. That big fire back then seemed to be related to the 3 giants' families in Zhenqingjiang city. Back then, the Jin family took a liking to your parents' industry and wanted to acquire it at a low price. Your father disagrees. The Jin family colluded with the Miao and Tang families, using hidden tactics behind their backs, bribing officials, manipulating the market, suppressing market prices, and forcing your parents' company to suffer losses for months. Finally, by uniting with the bank's people to demand debt, Menglong Company was directly defeated and owed a lot of debt. Yujialong will gather all the information she has investigated. Since their goal has been achieved, why would they still set fire and burn our family to death? Xiao Han frowned. This. Yujialong paused for a moment. Speak up. Xiao Han revealed his killing intent. The head of the Miao family is interested in your mother, so he has joined forces with the Jin and Tang families. Prepare a big fire to burn you and your father to death, occupy your mother, and share your house and some old items from the Xiao family. Who knew, your mother was also in the company at the time. If it weren't for Zhou Changqing of the Zhou family setting up a tomb for your parents' clothes and hats, it is estimated that by now, they wouldn't even have a place to bury themselves. Yu Jiaolong briefly summarized the events of the Xiao family back then. First, worship your parents, order the heavens to punish the 8 guards, block major intersections in Zhenqingjiang city, and allow no entry or exit. Find someone to keep an eye on the people of the Jin, Miao, and Tang families, none of them can leave Zhenqingjiang city. Finally, let me inform you that I need to clean Zhenqingjiang city. Xiao Han spoke lightly. Although her tone was light, Yu Jiaolong felt a tremendous killing intent. Chapter 0006. The 300000 Heavenly Punishment Guard, Zhenqingjiang City. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yu Jiaolong issued Xiao Han's orders to various departments in the northern region. At this time, Xiao Han also arrived at the tombstone of his parents. Among the many tombstones, the parents' tombstones are the most shabby. Not only is there no incense for worship, but the grave is also overgrown with weeds. On the inscriptions, there is green moss growing all over. Just as he approached, Xiao Han saw a small tent set up next to the tomb. Inside the small tent, a few people were drinking beer and eating braised food. What's wrong with looking at the tombstone of this dead person every day? What's the point? 2 old people, even if they die, it doesn't bring peace. A bald man nibbled on a chicken leg and took a sip of beer. Then he spat a mouthful of phlegm towards the grave. Don't complain so much. If it weren't for that, the women from the Muwan Chamber of Commerce have been putting pressure on the Miao family head, and this damn tomb of clothes and crowns would have been demolished long ago. However, the 3 major families have already begun preparing to liquidate the Red Muwan Chamber of Commerce. Shen Hongwan, that girl, probably won't last long either. At that time, this tombstone will definitely be demolished. A man with tattooed arms and a black mole on the corner of his mouth. Definitely speaking. He is the leader of several gangsters, Hua Xiong. Ha ha ha. Brother Xiong, when you say this, I can't hold back anymore. Shenhongwan's face and figure, tisk tsk. If I could squeeze her under me and do some exercise, it would be so delicious that I could live a year less. After filling a few bottles of beer, Xiao Wangmiao heard Hua Xiong mention Shenhongwan. Suddenly, an inexplicable evil fire surged in the lower abdomen, causing a strong urge to urinate. Just unfasten your pants and prepare to pee towards the grave. You want to die? A indifferent voice sounded. In an instant, there seemed to be a gust of cold wind blowing in the air, causing little yellow hair to shiver all over. Someone, hurry up and leave. This tomb is not something you can worship. When Hua Xiong saw Xiao Han and Yu Jiaolong walking towards the tomb of the Xiao family, he let out a scolding. This loud roar also frightened Huang Mao, causing him to hold back his urine. Grass mud horses, things that don't have eyes, I'll kill you. Xiao Huang Mao was furious and didn't even bother to ask Xiao Han what he was. He kicked towards Xiao Han with just one kick. Xiao Han turned sideways, then his 5 fingers formed claws, and with one claw, he grabbed little yellow hair's neck. Lift him up. Ah! Xiao Huang Mao struggled in pain. But it was like being pinched by the hem of his skirt, no matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't touch Xiao Han. Why do you seek death? Let me down, I will depose you. Xiao Huang Mao screamed wildly. Bang! Xiao Han let go directly. Xiao Wangmiao hit the muddy ground directly. Ah! I want to kill. Little yellow hair was furious and wanted to struggle up. Squeak! Xiao Han stepped on his head. Woo woo! Xiao Wangmiao's mouth was suddenly filled with soil. What kind of person are you, unable to seek death? Hua Xiong looked coldly at Xiao Han. Let out a loud cry. Several thugs behind him also quickly stood up, holding machetes in their hands. Did you just spit a mouthful of phlegm on the grave? Xiao Han ignored the bear and looked at the bald man instead. This arrogant move made Hua Xiong's face completely gloomy. However, the bald man let out a poop and chuckled, it's because I vomited. I not only have to vomit, but also have to defecate on it. Ha! As he spoke, his bald head condensed a mouthful of phlegm and was about to spit on the grave. Shwa! A strong wind howled past. Everyone was a bit dizzy. Then, it was seen that Xiao Han hit the bald throat with a knife. Click! There was a sound of bones breaking. Pushi! Suddenly, the bald head spurted out a mouthful of blood, mixed with broken bones. Bald, one hand covering his throat, and one finger pointing at Xiao Han, wanting to say something. But he couldn't say anything, obviously his throat bone was broken. Lick up the phlegm you just spat out. Xiao Han stomped his bald head on the grave with one foot. Such humiliation, bald certainly wouldn't do it. Click. Xiao Han crushed his bald arm with just one foot. Ah! The bald man screamed in agony. Seek death. Kill him for me. Hua Xiong felt that Xiao Han was too arrogant and dared to treat his little brother like this. Upon hearing Hua Xiong's command, those thugs immediately raised their swords and attacked Xiao Han. Bang! Xiao Han fell with one foot, causing the ground to crack. The thugs who rushed up were immediately hit hard. They were like flying sandbags, falling to the ground with all their bones shattered. Bring him over. Xiao Han stepped on his bald head and said something to Yu Jiaolong. Although Hua Xiong has been exposed to a lot of blood on the road, his skills are also good. However, in front of Yu Jiaolong, there was no room for resistance at all. With a bang, Yu Jiaolong hit the bend of the flower bear's leg. Hua Xiong's legs softened as he knelt in front of the grave. You. Who the hell are you? It's the head of the Miao family who instructed us to guard this tomb. I advise you to think twice before taking action. The flower bear kneeling on the ground knows that the other person is tough. However, the Miao family owner was still moved out. In Xinjiang city, the Jin, Miao, and Tang families are hegemonic entities. Lick it clean, otherwise I'll crush all your limbs. Xiao Han ignored the bear and instead reminded the bald man. I lick. Bald no longer has the same arrogance as before, using Xiao Han's ruthless methods. He knows that if he doesn't lick it clean, he will really become a useless person who is difficult to move. Hoo. Nausea. Baldy endured nausea and licked the thick phlegm he had vomited clean. Dare to offend the Miao family leader, sooner or later you will be skinned and cramped. Little Huang Mao may be a bit lacking in heart or not convinced. Even though his mouth was full of mud, he still started cursing. Bury him. Xiao Han's voice rang out. Suddenly, several heavenly punishment guards began to dig pits. Yu Jialong presented incense candles and fruit offerings. You're scaring me. Am I scared too much? Little yellow hair is still arrogant. Mom and Dad, Xiao Han is unfilial. I just came to see you now. Xiao Han arranged the offerings and lit incense candles. Then wipe off the withered vines and green moss on the tombstone. Xiao Han looked at the tombstone. Above. Tomb of the parents of the Xiao family, standing with Zhou Chongqing as his friend. On the broken tombstone, there are only a few words, which appear extremely desolate. Xiao Han took a sip of the specially supplied Maotai and then poured the entire bottle of Maotai in front of the tombstone. At the same time, he bit his finger and landed in an inconspicuous position at the bottom right corner of the tombstone, adding a few words. Zi Xiao Han, also known as the Qingdi festival. You. How dare you kill someone? When the soil buried around his neck, little yellow hair finally panicked. However, Xiao Han did not signal the heavenly punishment guard to stop. In the end, Huang Mao's screams were gradually covered by the soil. This scene made the other thugs lying on the ground bury their heads even lower. Hua Xiong couldn't help but swallow his saliva. He has seen a ruthless person, but he has never seen such a ruthless person. Killing without even blinking an eye is more indifferent than killing a chicken. Send a letter to the Miao family, asking them to kneel in front of my parents' grave and repent. At that time, I will consider leaving one for the Miao family. Speaking, Xiao Han stood up. Later, Xiao Han looked at Yu Jiaolong and said, Now, where is Cishi? Tianya No. 1 Biayuan, where there is the best private hospital in Xinjiang city. It seems that we need to perform a heart transplant on Cishi. Yu Jiaolong quickly replied. Heart transplant, good, really good. I want to see how many hearts those people have. Xiao Han squinted his eyes and soon went down to the Dragon Mountain with Yu Jiaolong for burial. However, Xiao Han then added, by the way, bring over 300,000 heavenly punishment guards, including the Jin, Miao, Tang, and Li families. Even if the sky falls, I will sink these 4 families. For a moment, the killing intent was chilling. Chapter 0007. For parts of the Great Xia, peak figures. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Shanjing Guoshu Yuan is the conference room of the highest hall in the country. The highest leader of the decision-making team went up to the summit and looked at the handsome seal, tiger talisman, and 5-star golden dragon robe in front of them. I took a sip of fragrant tea. At this moment, the leaders of the 4 major departments of the Great Xia Kingdom, including the Dragon Shield, Inner Court, Ministry of War, and Kunlun, are all here. Long Dun is the department responsible for the security of Daxia, the inner court is the department responsible for the political and economic affairs of Daxia, the Ministry of War is responsible for cultivating powerful warriors, and Kunlun is the department responsible for training special forces and dealing with some supernatural phenomena. The four major departments constitute the backbone of the Great Xia Kingdom. Now, at the conference table, the discussion is about who to give the glory of Beijing in recent years. After all, the master of the northern realm is still Mang Tianqi. Shangfeng, how to say it? On the surface, Shan Mang Tianqi is the master of the northern realm, and this glory should fall on his head. Wei Xianhuai, the person in charge of Dragon Shield, spoke up. He has two beards, not angry but confident. Agree. Now, the three major realms of southern Xinjiang, western continent, and eastern regions are only 4 stars. He's just a little kid, with the help of Mang Tianqi, he already has 4 stars. Is there anything else he's not satisfied with? The head of the inner courtyard, Xing Xian, knocked on the conference table and agreed. At the age of only in his early 20s, Emperor Qing could have done such a thing. It must have been Mang Tianqi guiding him from behind. So, this honor still does not belong to Emperor Qing. Kong Yi, an old man from the Ministry of War, spoke up. He also did not believe that these years were the victories of Emperor Qing, who had subdued all the soldiers in the northern region. But instead, Mang Tianqi supported him from behind. Shangfeng, you need to think carefully. If you want to wear a crown, you must bear its weight. If Emperor Qing had no real ability and relied solely on the guidance of Mang Tianqi to achieve such a great reputation, that means his strength is not up to par yet. If we insist on placing such a heavy honor on him, it may cultivate his arrogant heart and ultimately destroy him. The person in charge of Kunlun, Feng Yan, cautioned. Reportedly, Emperor Qingdi, the owner of the Temple of Heavenly Punishment, has ordered 8 departments of the temple to block all entrances and exits in Xinjiang city. We also dispatched 300,000 soldiers from the northern border to rush to Xinjiang city. In the inner courtyard, a general named Hu Kuan carrying 3 stars is holding a document. Arrived at the conference room. These words instantly made the conference room quiet. Subsequently, except for the peak. The heads of the other 4 departments. His face became heavy. What a mess. Isn't this equivalent to a city lockdown? The person in charge of the Dragon Shield snorted. Still too young. Comment from the head of the inner courtyard. If given greater power, wouldn't it lead to greater disasters? The person in charge of the Ministry of War spoke up. Let Mang Tianqi come back and take charge of the northern realm. The person in charge of Kunlun is also not very optimistic about Xiao Han. In fact, Mang Tianqi had already traveled to various places without any news. In recent years, the victories in the northern region have been led by Emperor Qing alone. Shangfeng took out a stack of secret documents. Looking at everyone. This statement surprised all 4 department heads. Impossible. How old is Emperor Qing? Without the help of Mang Tianqi, he could have achieved such success. Several people exclaimed in surprise. Over the years, Emperor Qing has been engaged in battles outside the northern border, sweeping away the savage barbarians on the grasslands. Nowadays, it has repelled millions of barbarians and reached the holy land of the barbarian enemy to offer sacrifices to heaven, hanging the flag of the Great Xia Kingdom. He has achieved the feat of enfeoffment to the wolf dwelling in Su. In terms of merit and reward, one should hang a 5-star system and be awarded the position of Grand General, leading the Northern Territory in being granted the title of King. Behind this, if it weren't for Mang Tianqi's intervention, only Qingdi, who was in his early 20s, completed it alone. So, what a terrifying thing is this? So even the knowledgeable leaders of the 4 departments are hard to believe. Since you don't believe it, let Emperor Qing treat Xinjiang city as a miniature battlefield. How does he handle the matter in Xinjiang city? Looking up at the crowd from the peak. The words from Shangfen once again surprised the four of them. Shangfen, you're not joking. Aren't you really afraid of sinking Qingjiang city? Wei Xianhuai, the person in charge of Dragon Shield, spoke up. The other three also nodded. If, as a young man like Xiao Qingdi, 300,000 northern frontier soldiers have been transferred, even the situation in Qingjiang city cannot be controlled. Whether he is a disciple of Mang Tianqi or not, I personally took off the 4 stars on his shoulder. Up the mountain with a smile. Okay, let's see if this kid really has real talent. The 4 department heads nodded. Finally, Shangfeng signed a red-headed document. Let the War Department of Qingjiang City cooperate with Emperor Shaoqing's actions. Tianya No. 1 Biyuan, Our Lady Mary Hospital. The best private hospital in Qingjiang City, with many wealthy and influential individuals. They are all treated and nurtured here. An operating room with a red light on and no entry allowed. Dozens of men wearing black suits are guarding. These black-clad men, each with a vigilant expression and a gleam in their eyes. Even some wealthy and powerful individuals recuperating in hospitals dare not approach. Brother Wu, what's going on with this heart removal surgery? How could Tiger Lord take it so seriously? A young man named Ma Chi, who was smoking and had a thin figure, was still playing with a dagger in his hand, emitting a demonic aura all over his body. At this moment, he also asked the burly man with a shaved head to the side. This heart removal surgery, of course, involves taking out the target person's heart, placing it in a black box, and transporting it to the location where the heart is needed. I heard that the heart that was just taken out is still beating, and the feeling is really indescribable. A cruel smile appeared at the corner of Zheng Wu's mouth. My hand was still pinching in the air. Is that still an underage Peugeot girl? I heard that after digging out the heart, people can still maintain their body temperature for more than 10 minutes. Ma Chi licked his lips, revealing an evil smile. Zheng Wu was taken aback by these words, and then shook his head and said, "You guy." He knows that Ma Chi has some special sexual fetishes. I need to ask Mr. Hu. Zheng Wu glanced at the middle-aged man sitting cross-legged on the ground, dressed in a martial arts uniform, with his eyes closed. This Hu Ji is a warrior who kills like pinching a chicken. It was also sent by Hu Yi to suppress the formation. Bang! But I haven't waited for Ma Chi to ask. The door of Our Lady of Mary Hospital. With a loud bang. Broken apart by impact. A camouflage jeep flew over. With a creak. Stopped outside the operating room. This is a loud bang. Many people were scared and fell to the ground. Dog thing. Who taught you how to drive like this? A chubby man came to the car and insulted. Bang. The car door was kicked open by Xiao Han. The rebound force hit the fat man. With a bang. The fat man flew over a dozen meters and crashed onto the wall. Spitting fresh blood at the mouth and completely breaking ribs. This scene silenced many people who wanted to come up and cause trouble. Those who don't want to die, get out of here. Xiao Han walked straight towards the entrance of the operating room. The evil energy on his body caused a gust of cold wind to hang in the hospital courtyard. Chapter 0008. The God of Killing comes, saving my sister. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Stop. No matter who you are. The person inside is the Tiger Lord of the Black Tiger Gang. He is the one who asked for it by name. Don't make a mistake. Zheng Wu squinted his eyes and shouted at Xiao Han. Judging from Xiao Han's move. This is clearly a tough criticism. However, Tiger Lord is the underground king of Qingjiang City. Just his name can scare many people. Get lost. With a loud bang. Xiao Han slapped Zheng Wu directly in the face. Zheng Wu was suddenly fanned away like a spinning top. With a loud bang, it hit the ground. A few teeth flew out, blood left at the corner of the mouth, and 5 bright red fingerprints appeared on the face. Kill him for me. Where can Zhengwu tolerate it? Just give a loud roar. Dozens of black-clad men holding weapons. In an instant, he chopped towards Xiao Han. Ka. Pa cough. Dong. The sound of various bones breaking on the body rang out. Just a few seconds. Lying on the ground is a person with broken hands and feet, twisted body, and bone spurs piercing the skin. Dozens of big men with blood streaming through. Even a few people had their necks twisted. The scene suddenly felt like a hell on earth. Everyone present was stunned, with fear in their eyes. Is this a demon crawling out of hell? Step by step. Xiao Han's eyes gleamed cold as he walked step by step towards Ma Qi. Just now, you said you wanted to see what my sister's heart looks like. The killing intent in the tone seemed to tear the air apart. I'm not a vegetarian. Looking at Xiao Han walking by, Ma Qi felt flustered in his heart, but his eyes were still fierce as he held up a dagger and stabbed at Chen Han. Puzzy. 2 people passed by in a staggered manner. Ma Qi's dagger pierced into the air. But there was a popping sound. Ma Qi looked down. His chest has already been punctured and it's empty inside. Turning around and looking around, Ma Qi saw in fear. A still beating heart was held in Xiao Han's hand. How did you see the heart just taken out beating? I asked a rhetorical question. Xiao Han let out a loud bang. Crushed the heart directly. Puff. Ma Qi fell to the ground and instantly became a corpse. Get off, Xiao Han. Clear the obstacles blocking the operating room door. In less than a minute. Bang. Kicked open the door of the operating room. On the operating table, there is a girl with a delicate face lying down. There is also a stack of blood type and antibody matching documents on the table next to it, as well as a black box for storing the heart. This is really going to take his sister's heart. Xiao Han's heart was filled with infinite killing intent. Who is that? Hurry up and get out, it's currently under surgery. Holding a surgical knife, the white coat, ready to take action, was startled and immediately shouted at Xiao Han. Click. Xiao Han instantly approached and directly pinched the arm of his white coat. She picked up Xiao Qianqian, who had been drugged and breathed steadily. Ah ah ah. The white coat suddenly screamed in agony, security guard, come on. Catch this dog thing. The white coat screamed in agony. But there was no movement outside. The white coat looked out. A body in one place and a black-clothed man with severed hands screaming in agony. That scene is like a slaughterhouse. Shoo. This scene directly scared the white coat to pee, and yellow soup flowed out of the crotch. No, it's not my business, it's all because the Black Tiger Gang's Tiger Master asked me to do this. The white coat exclaimed in surprise as he explained. This kind of organ retrieval is not uncommon, isn't it? A quack doctor. Xiaoling let out a snort. A punch hit the head of the white coat. Puzzy. The head spun around the neck a few times, with a layer of skin attached, and eventually drooped. The white coat did not expect that it was originally intended to take a person's heart, but in the end, his head was moved. Ah! The nurse in the room was suddenly frightened and screamed as she fled. Xiao Han held Xiao Sisi, who was sleeping soundly. There were still many scars on her body. This made Xiao Han feel heartbroken. At this moment, outside the operating room, only Zheng Wu and the warrior Hu Ji, who had crossed his knees and stood up now, were left standing. Your Excellency should also be a warrior. I have taken down the Hu Ji, and this time I was entrusted by someone. If you really want to take this little girl away, then who will have to take action too? The momentum of Hu Ji suddenly dissipated. The flower pots and cups in the yard have all exploded. He is a strong warrior at the pinnacle, only one step away from entering the realm of samurai. In Qingjiang City, he is a top-ranked warrior. Get lost. Xiao Han's eyes froze, and a powerful aura was released. Boom. Hu Ji suddenly felt as if he had been hit by a car. The 5 organs and 6 viscera are almost shattered. I just don't want to talk to you, do you really think it's something? Xiao Han stepped over the Hu Ji with one step and said lightly. Pussy. A mouthful of fresh blood spurted out from the mouth of the Hu Ji. His eyes were filled with fear. Wutu, samurai, warrior, general, Wuzong, Muwan. What kind of martial arts realm has this young man reached? Surprisingly, just one glance made him feel like he was struck by lightning. At this moment, Hu Ji can only lie on the ground trembling. What kind of existence did Yuan Yahoo from the Black Tiger Gang provoke? Zheng Wu was even more nervous, afraid to breathe too loudly, and his legs and feet were cramping, making him almost unable to stand steadily. Hu Ji's strength is something he has seen before. What is the origin of this young man? You can still stand now so that you can go back and report. What kind of Tiger Lord should you Black Tiger Gang do? Kneel down and explain my sister's situation clearly. Otherwise, if I let him die, there would be no place to bury him. Xiao Han didn't look back, just like this, holding Xiao Qianqian and getting on the camouflage jeep. Clack. Wait until Xiao Han's figure completely disappears. Zheng Wu collapsed to the ground with a loud snap. Looking at the corpses on the ground, as well as the severed arms and limbs, he couldn't help but vomit. My whole body was still trembling uncontrollably. Let Yuan Yahoo do as the young man said. Hu Ji got up from the ground and spoke out in a daze. Hu Yi, won't you go back to the Black Tiger Gang? Zheng Wu asked after him. Black Tiger Gang. With the methods of the one just now, there's no other Black Tiger Gang. Hu Ji sneered and shook his head. Zheng Wu is not a warrior and does not understand the terror of that person just now. If he returns to the Black Tiger Gang again, I estimate that there will only be a dead end in the end. Watching Hu Ji disappear. Zheng Wu, however, did not believe that the Black Tiger Gang could be so easily destroyed. You should know that the Black Tiger Gang is the king of underground forces in Qingjiang City. Politics, commerce, and military are all related. Even if the other party knows martial arts, it won't shake the Black Tiger Gang. The value of force does not play a significant role in today's society. But how could members of this little Black Tiger Gang think of it? Various intersections in Qingjiang City have been gradually blocked and are about to face a storm. Chapter 0009. Investigating Xiao Han. Real identity scares people to death. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xiao Han's actions. It also caused quite a stir in Qingjiang City. Especially the Li family, the Black Tiger Gang, and the 3 major families in Qingjiang City, namely the Jin, Miao, and Tang families. But for them, I didn't even take Xiao Han seriously. A waste from Qingjiang City back then, both parents could have been burned to death by a big fire. What kind of flower wave can be stirred up in Qingjiang City with only one sister and 2 little brats left? Just like a small boat in the sea, they casually raise a wave. It can drown out the remaining sins of the Xiao family. However, the Li family still used their connections. Found the head of the inspection team and the secret department in Qingjiang City. Prepared to retrieve some identity information about Xiao Han. At this moment, Peng Chang, Deputy Director of the Law Enforcement Bureau, and Yuan Song, Captain of the Law Enforcement Bureau. Li Yuanfu, the butler of the Li family. There is also a man named Du Miao who belongs to the inspection team, wearing golden glasses and carrying a briefcase. 4 people, all standing outside the theater compound in Qingjiang City. Just now, what you said was true. Du Miao helped her golden glasses and asked. Peng Chang quickly took a photo of Yuan Song. It's true. At the Li family, the woman took out a small green notebook, which introduced her as a prominent figure belonging to the Northern Realm Heavenly Punishment Hall. Yuan Song explained. He didn't reveal all the information because he didn't quite believe that Yujiao Dragon was one of the 5 dragons in the Northern Heaven Punishment Hall. How could that kind of big shot appear in their city of Xinjiang? What nonsense big shot. I see you're just being scammed, you've been working for so many years. This little trick has fooled you. Peng Chang couldn't help but curse. The old slave also felt that those two were putting on airs. After all, that person named Xiao Han was a waste of the Xiao family back then. Nowadays, it's not much better. How could it be related to the important figures in the Northern Realm Heavenly Punishment Hall? Li Yuanfu arched his body and provided some information about Xiao Han. This guy dares to commit violence in Xinjiang City, I have to dig out all his secrets. No matter what his identity is, we must make him sit through the prison. Du Miao let out a cold snort. Now, he is coming to the theater of war in Xinjiang City to request authorization. After all, Xiao Han, who was originally from Xinjiang City, is in the registered residence system of the compound of the military region. It should be possible to retrieve his identity information. General, the inspection team led by Du Miao and the Law Enforcement Bureau led by Peng Chang have arrived. Guard Mu Bing reported in an office in the courtyard. Let them in. A middle-aged man practicing calligraphy spoke calmly and confidently. His shoulder badge was adorned with wheat ears, and a golden star shone brightly. 1 bar, 1 star, rank of Major General. It is Gu Feng, the person in charge of the southern border of Xinjiang City and the division of the war zone in Xinjiang City. Du Miao, Peng Chang, and Yuan Song quickly entered Gu Feng's office. Li Yuanfu, the butler of the Li family, was not even qualified to enter the gate of the courtyard in the Zhan district and was directly kicked out. General Gu. The 3 of them all saluted Gu Feng. After all, as far as Xinjiang City is concerned, Gu Feng can be considered the most powerful person. I already understand the situation. I heard it was also related to the Xiao family case back then. Gu Feng stopped writing, picked up his teacup, and looked at the 3 people. General Gu, this kid is definitely coming back for revenge. Being ruthless and inhumane, we have reason to suspect that he is an unstable element, or rather a thug. We must thoroughly investigate his identity. Du Miao spoke with a righteous tone. Not bad, General Gu. That guy dares to impersonate the high-level officials in the northern border and attack our law enforcement officers. It's completely lawless. Peng Chang also agrees with the Tao. In his view, Xiao Han's actions in the Li family were completely provoking the Law Enforcement Bureau. Isn't it a loss of face for the Law Enforcement Department if they don't punish that kid severely? However, Yuan Song remained silent. Because he felt that perhaps the little green notebook that Yu Jiaolong showed him might be a bit real. That would be a big trouble. To take precautions is to investigate. After a few seconds of silence, Gu Feng nodded. Step by step. However, at this moment, a sound of footsteps came from outside the hospital. Wow! Guard Mu Bing hurriedly pushed the door in. Gu Feng put down his teacup and immediately frowned and scolded, in a hurry, do you still look like a soldier? General Gu, on the side of Shangjing. Mu Binggang was about to say something. A group led by Hu Kuan. He stepped into the courtyard of the theater of war. Looking around, Hu Kuan's ears of wheat are adorned in the middle, carrying 3 stars on his shoulders. Others wait either 2 stars or 1 star. Hiss. This scene not only frightened Du Miao, Peng Chang, and Yuan Song, but also made their legs weak. Even Gu Feng took a cold breath. What situation is this? I have so many great gods in my small temple today. Speaking, Gu Feng quickly stood still and gave a military salute. Du Miao, Peng Chang, and Yuan Song followed suit. Brother Gu, there's no need to be so serious. We're just here to convey some orders from above. Hu Kun gave a military salute and then laughed heartily. Conveying orders. I don't seem to have received any orders from the headquarters of the Southern Theater Command. Gu Feng has some doubts. It is an order directly issued by the peak. Speaking, Hu Kun took out a red document. Placed on the table. Above are the seals of Shanfeng and Cebu. It can be said that the priority of this red file is already the highest level. Red file, this. Seeing the top 3 words of the red document, Gu Feng's voice trembled slightly. What a big thing is going to happen. Guard Mu Bing dare not even breathe too loudly. The general meaning of Shanfeng is to ask you to cooperate with Sun Shishou and be at your disposal when the time comes. Hu Kun smiled calmly. Listen. Listen to your instructions. Or would you like to request approval from the headquarters of the Southern Theater Command? Gu Feng asked tentatively. He felt that he couldn't shoulder this heavy responsibility and needed to consult the headquarters of the Southern Theater Command. We cannot let the headquarters of the Southern Theater Command know about this matter at the moment. As for the person you need to follow orders to act, it is the Northern Realm Lord Xiaoqingdi. Hu Kun shook his head. Then, it was the key person who revealed this red document. The Northern Realm Lord, Emperor Xiaoqing. After a murmur. Clack. Gu Feng's legs and feet softened. I almost fell to the ground. Fortunately, security guard Mu Bing helped him. Du Miao, Ping Chang, Yuan Song even held their breath, afraid of making a sound. Gu Feng, who has regained his senses, would like to ask for some detailed information. Looking up. The figures of Hu Kun and others have already left the theater compound. Just a reminder, Lord Xiao, commonly known as Xiao Han. Do you know the consequences of the information just mentioned being leaked? Finally, Hu Kun's voice drifted into Gu Feng's ears. Chapter 0010. Rising wind and clouds, Li and Miao families prepare to take action against Xiao Han. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. General Gu, otherwise, let's report to the headquarters of the Southern Theater Command. Mu Bing tentatively asked. Are you thinking of losing your head? This is the top secret red document. Gu Feng couldn't help but curse. Moreover, General Hu just gave him a clear warning. We cannot inform the headquarters of the Southern Theater Command in advance. This involves the matter of the Northern Territory Lord Xiaoqingdi. Perhaps it is not as simple as revoking his military rank. It's possible to lose your head. So, what should we do? Mu Bing swallowed. Quickly open the red file and see the information about Lord Xiao Jingzhu. Gu Feng quickly took action. Xiao Jingzhu, originally named Xiao Han, was appointed as the Northern Realm official, Emperor Xiaoqing. My ancestral home is Jiangcheng and Xinjiang City. My father is Xiao Yifeng and my mother is Zhang Gui. There's so much information. The other information of Mr. Xiao is highly confidential, even though it can't be found in the registered residence system. Guard Mu Bing nervously revealed some information about Xiao Han. Puff. Hear these words. Du Miao, Ping Chang, and Yuan Song fell directly to the ground. Before coming, they had a brief understanding of Xiao Han's information. Even if their names are the same, are their parents the same? This Xiao Han is actually the legendary Northern Realm Lord Xiaoqingdi. You guys are so audacious that you want to investigate Lord Xiao Jingzhu. With a loud bang, Gu Feng smashed the cup and roared angrily. Now, he was covered in a cold sweat from behind. If he really checks, he won't be able to find much information about Lord Xiao. And this information will definitely mislead him into approving the arrest of Xiao Han. In this way, it will bring bad luck. Gu Jiang, where do we know about this? It's all the Li family. The Li family entrusted their relationship to investigate Lord Xiao Jingzhu. They dare to back off Lord Zhao's engagement, they're really eating leopard gall. Du Miao quickly explained. Not bad, they are all the Li family, as well as the three major families of the Jin, Miao, and Tang families. Unexpectedly daring to use despicable means to treat the Xiao family like this. After returning to the Law Enforcement Bureau, I will definitely ask the director to establish a special task force to investigate the incident of the Xiao family 5 years ago. None of these guys can run away. Peng Chang's head spun extremely fast. Suddenly, I thought of a way to escape for myself. At the same time, it is possible to climb onto the thigh of Emperor Qing. Don't even think about leaving the theater compound during this period. Don't try to contact the outside world, otherwise, I can't guarantee if your heads around your neck will move. Du Miao snorted coldly. If Peng Chang really wanted to investigate the Xiao family incident 5 years ago, he would have investigated it long ago. I won't hear the news that Xiao Han is Emperor Qing either. Have such thoughts again. I can only say that the water here is too deep. He didn't dare to handle it, so he had to let Lord Xiao handle it himself. Mu Bing, prepare, tidy up your appearance, and lead a team of elite soldiers to meet Lord Xiao. By the way, let Lord Xiao Jing review it. Du Miao quickly took action. Lord Xiao Jing personally came to Zhenqingjiang city to handle affairs. In addition, the red document issued by Shangfeng instructed him not to notify the headquarters of the Southern Theater Command, but to cooperate with Lord Xiao. In this way, Du Miao also understood that from this moment on, he was in charge of Xiao Jing. The general goes to meet with the commander, leads troops to wait for inspection, which is the most basic etiquette. Furthermore, at that time, he can also have a better understanding of how Lord Xiao is preparing to cooperate with the affairs of Zhenqingjiang city. Li Yuan paced on the lawn in the Li family courtyard. My mind is a bit restless. Waiting for the investigation news from Li Yuanfu. However, just then, a sound of footsteps came from outside. Li Yuan's face lit up with joy. Why has it been so long? Has the news about Xiao Han's waist been investigated yet? Li Yuan looked at Li Yuanfu, who hurried into the courtyard and quickly asked. Master, I can't enter the theater compound. After Captain Du and Deputy Bureau Peng enter. It's been a long time since I came out. So, I went to the black market and inquired about some information about Xiao Han. Li Yuanfu explained. But how did he know that Du Miao and others might not be able to leave the theater compound of Zhenqingjiang city during this period? Forget it. It is estimated that the identity of this waste cannot enter the registered residence system in the war zone. What information did you find on the black market? Li Yuan waved his hand. Since leaving Zhenqingjiang city, Xiao Han has been. We have entered the northern border, however, according to the information obtained from the investigation. He has worked as a cook and a prison guard, both of which are insignificant positions. Now, it's uncertain whether the information is still in the Northern Theater Command. Li Yuanfu pulled out a zongzhuan. Speak out the information obtained from the investigation in one fell swoop. However, how could Li Yuanfu know? What he found was just some smoke bombs. For 5 years, it turned out that they were just some insignificant positions in the northern border, without even military ranks. Waste, it's really waste. Dare to cancel my Li family's engagement. He's trying to kill himself. After reading the investigation file on Xiao Han, Li Yuan immediately tore it apart and cursed loudly. Master, should I send someone to break this kid's limbs and drag him back to apologize to the young lady? Li Yuanfu spoke up. No need. 3 days later, on the day of Muwan's wedding, on the day of his parents' death. Let his Xiao family lose face. Let everyone in the Xiao family see what kind of waste Xiao Yifeng and Zhang Qian have given birth to. Li Yuan was extremely angry. Today, during the Li family's visit, he lost face and even made the big families in Zhenqingjiang city laugh at their Xiao family. Unexpectedly, he was made so embarrassed by a useless young man back then. At the grand wedding of their Li family's daughter 3 days later. He not only needs to leverage the power of the He family to bring great glory to the Li family. We must use this to humiliate Xiao Han and his deceased parents. At this moment, inside the Miao family hall. The flower bear, covered in scars, knelt in front of Miao Zhenqingjiang, the head of the Miao family. A group of trash, you can't even guard a clothing tomb. Did you grow up eating shit? Miao Zhenqingjiang slammed onto the armrest of the chair and shouted loudly. Master, it's really not my fault. It's the one named Xiao Han who is too powerful. Not only did he bring people with him, but he also managed to get rid of Little Yellow Hair, Bald Donkey, and others in just a few seconds. This guy is definitely a tough guy. Hua Xiong's face was mournful. If it weren't for Xiao Han asking him to come back and report, he probably would have left his little life at the burial Dragon Mountain. Damn ruthless person, just a little wild seed and a little scoundrel. It's just the remaining sin of the Xiao family back then. Miao Zhenqingjiang snorted. He never expected that the useless Xiao family would dare to return to Qingjiang city. Is it difficult? Does he still believe that he has the ability to avenge his parents? At that time, the Xiao family's group was so powerful that it was not destroyed by the three of them. Finally, a big fire destroyed all the confidential data of Menglong Company. Completely cut off the root of Xiao Yifeng's comeback. Just a little kid, he didn't even care about it.